All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Modern Meeting, episode number 43. My name is Adam. I'm a compulsive gambler. Last bet February 8th, 2022.
And I'm Jen, also compulsive gambler. Last bet 10/16/2023.
How we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Love your shirt. What does that say?
Modern meeting.
Oh, damn. We just finished the 12-mile walk. We did that on July 12th.
It's July 9th. Oh,
You're not supposed to tell them that we do this Jeopardy style now. We record multiple episodes on the same day.
Adam, have you met me?
But yeah, we're recording this on July 9th, but it's airing on like after July 12th, where we walked 12 miles. But you weren't
Yeah,
there because you had a prior engagement.
I know. Happy birthday, Riley.
Happy birthday, Riley. That's awesome.
That's my niece.
So we talked briefly about our new friend and loyal Modern Meeting listener, Cam, last week,
Yes, we did.
or last episode. And you guys were talking on the boat. I'm a little disappointed that you went on his boat before my boat, but no big deal. You guys were talking on the boat about toolboxes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I want to dive right into this. So first, I want to hear about the conversation, and then like what's in your toolbox
Okay,
or
well,
tool belt?
so
Is it tool belt or
no,
toolbox?
toolbox.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you the questions that he asked me.
Oh, love this.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, like, he started the conversation, and the first question is, what on a normal day, what is in your toolbox? So for your job, what are the things that you need? You could also apply it to the podcast if you wanted to. I'm just curious what your answers are.
What is in my toolbox for like life? Like,
Yeah. Like today, okay, for example, a doctor's toolbox might have a stethoscope. Um,
okay. I got it.
they
I
might
got
have
it.
a lab coat. Right. Okay.
Okay, so like my toolbox for my job is my laptop and my notebook and my business cards. Yeah,
So, if we were to dial it in towards recovery,
yeah.
what do you think is the most important tool or person that you utilize for your recovery?
Wow. Okay. So the most important tool that I use, I'm sorry, and this might be a shitty answer, but it's not. It's my past.
Okay. I
My
mean, I think that's a great answer.
my story is my number one tool.
Right. Okay.
And then
Go ahead.
person, I have multiple people.
Yeah. Okay. And that's fine. I
Yeah.
mean, for some people, it might be a sponsor or
Yeah.
family member, spouse, something like that. Uh, so like for me, my number one tool is affirmations. I start every single day with a positive thought or positive affirmation about myself. And I need that because
Mm.
one of the things that, was so successful in pushing or feeding this disease was the way I thought about myself, the way I talked about myself. I would say, yeah, I mean, I do good things, but I'm a piece of shit.
Mm.
Um, and so for me, it's affirmations. And I almost feel like sometimes that sounds really egotistical, but it's something that I definitely need because I'm so easily swayed that, like, I'm not making someone happy or I'm not living up to the person that I'm supposed to be. Well, that's how I used to be. But
I
since,
don't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, so since being in recovery, for me, that is like, I guess I call it my number one tool because it's the first thing that I do in the morning and it's the last thing I do at night.
I don't want to dive into that because I think the last time I did, you told me to kindly fuck off. But but
I think
I
so
don't
too.
know. I mean, it's like so when you say like an affirmation, give me an
Mhm.
example of one of those. You wake up and you say what?
You are gonna be fucking a rock star today. Like, you're gonna own this day. You're gonna be beautiful. You are gonna be kind. Like for me, he asked me what my number one tool was, and so I said that, and then he was like, "All right, what are your other tools?" And I was like, I don't know," and like he was sort of just pointing out the importance of having your toolbox, but knowing what those tools are and knowing how to utilize them. And I think that's something that I know I get a lot of questions. I'm sure that you would get questions in the rooms and from the podcast and stuff like that. But is okay, I'm brand new to recovery. How did you stop the urges? How did you do this? And every person is different. Every person has different answers to those questions. But when you're first going into recovery, building that toolbox, knowing what those tools are, it's it almost hyper like focuses you on like, okay, so this is the tool I use for when I get urges. This is, some people are say that they gambled because they're bored. Okay, well, when I'm bored, this is the tool that I use. Um, so the conversation that him and I had just really sat there sort of building my toolbox, which being as far into recovery as I am, I guess those tools were there. I've never framed it in that perspective. So now I feel like I have this whole other sort of set of resources that I've always had and I've always used, but I can get to them a lot faster, if that makes
Mm.
sense.
Yeah. No, and I think so. What else is in your toolbox?
Actually, podcasts, like I have a podcast journal where I just write ideas and stuff down. So I know when I'm overthinking anything, I could be overthinking what I'm going to cook for dinner tonight.
Mm.
I'll take that sort of journal out and be like, I got to focus on something else. So it's kind of like that 1 minute thing where I take a moment to stop whatever the chaos is in my head, because chaos was a big part of me as a gambler. And I need that 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes. And usually that ends up turning into 5, 6 minutes. And by the time I'm like, okay, I'm done doing whatever I'm doing, or I'm done writing notes or going through notes, I don't even remember what I was overthinking. Or
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I just did this for 10 minutes. I want chicken for dinner. Like
Right.
it really does just sort of shake the chaos out for me.
Now, when you say that you journal,
Hmm.
do you really pick up a journal and write in it every night?
Yeah.
Really?
Not every single night, but I do. Yeah.
That's awesome. Because like I don't know, like as you said that, I was like, does she really? Because I just feel like, well, if I'm being honest, like I feel like a lot of us in recovery, we we start like developing like a little bit of a not a script, but like when I listen back to some of these podcasts, which I don't really do anymore because I just don't. But I've definitely said some things in the past that I definitely do, but I don't do them as often as I claimed I did. And I need to kind of take ownership of that right now. You know what I mean? Like when I say that like around like when Eddie was on, which we need to have Eddie back on again. Shout out Eddie. But I believe that Eddie every morning like says what he says he says,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I don't wake up every morning and like say, God, please guide me today.
Right.
I
Right.
probably say it like twice a week, and it's
Yeah.
usually always like when I'm in a darker place or when I'm in a just when I need his guidance, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? But like I probably should put that into my toolbox or make that more of a routine, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I was just curious because now's the time to say if you really only do it once a week, you can be like
Yeah.
me.
No, I mean, and so where I'll be honest is you're the one that really sort of pushed or inspired me that like every time we would go back and sort of rewatch some of your videos,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Which we
the
also
fa-
need to do, but go ahead.
right. But the fact that you can go back and you can sort of relive or sort of really sit there. I mean, everyone knows I'm way too ADHD for to even remember what I wanted to say 5 seconds ago.
Mm.
So like my thoughts are all over the place all the time. And when me, you, and Eddie were watching some of your old videos, and I was like, yeah, I love going back and looking at like I've rewrote the 20 questions a bunch of times. I love being able to sort of compare what my answers were day one to halfway to a year to a
See,
year.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And we will be right back. The Modern Meeting is supported by Evive. Hey guys, it's me, Adam. So, let me tell you a quick story. I wake up, I do my daily check in, I see how many days away from a bed I am, I log how I'm feeling, I document how strong my urge is to gamble, and I journal. And that's how I start every day. And I do it all on my phone using Evive. With gambling now being so easily accessible via phone, I love the fact that recovery is now just as accessible. Evive is a free digital platform built by people in recovery for people in recovery. Whether you're still struggling, have 10 years away from a bet, or 10 hours away from a bet, Evive has specific tracks for all that can cater to you wherever you're at in your recovery. Download Evive today or visit getevive.com to learn more. Your journey, your choices, your support. And now, back to the episode.
So, what else is in your toolbox?
I was waiting for you to ask me that because I've been trying to think of what else is in my toolbox. So let's go chronological order, like as I built my toolbox. Because this is a tough question for me, or like when people say, like, how do you stay away from a bet? Like, I really don't have a lot of concrete answers. It's more of a gut feeling for me. It's more of just a flip on my, a flip of a switch in my brain unflipped, right? But so, okay, early on, my toolbox was obviously the fellowship, and it was GA, and it was being able to text people. Then it was, you know, I think getting rid of any app on my phone that had to do with gambling, or like unsubscribing from a bunch of YouTube channels like that, at the time, like, was gambling. I think like that was part of my toolbox. I think having my dad watch my finances for the first
Yes.
three or 4 months was definitely a major part of my toolbox. And and this is another corny answer, but like, just the passage of time is like
Yeah.
kind of part of my toolbox. Like, the
Yeah.
more time goes by, I feel like the stronger I get. And
Right.
and
Right.
and then I think, like, obviously, like, Ken, my sponsor, is a big part of my toolbox,
Mhm.
and he is a tool. Kidding. He'd appreciate that joke. Shout out Ken. Eagles suck. But no, also, what else? Like, I mean, the podcast, I guess, definitely is my toolbox. Answering the hotline is in my toolbox. And
Okay.
and once again, like, people are gonna be like, these are just things that you do. Like, huh? No, these are all things that
Yeah.
I believe help me stay away from a bet, and help me, like, the disease is just waiting for me to take my foot off the gas.
Right. Right.
Right? No matter how good I feel right now, if I ever stopped any of those things, the disease has a chance. The
Yeah.
disease has a shot to get back in here.
Right. Right. So that leads me to my next question. Do you have a trigger plan in your toolbox?
A what?
Like a trigger plan. So if something were to trigger you, and I know at this point in your
God, what a
recovery,
question. Oh,
yeah,
I love this.
yeah.
Because I've never thought about it, but I'm going to do it on the fly. All right. So, like I said, so
You always say that's the best way to get an answer out of someone anyway.
totally,
So,
totally. So,
yeah.
so like I said, gambling for me, right now in 2025, gambling is not about the money for me. Okay. I know that there is no way I can ever win gambling. Even if I was given like a hot tip about a stock, or a hot tip about a machine that's about to hit. If I hit that machine, or I hit that stock, and I make millions, it's all going back, right? We know this is the case. But that's not to say that if I ever got into a dark place and a bunch of shitty things happened in my life, and I lost hope, or I just said fuck it,
Hmm.
I could see myself going back to gamble, not to win money,
Right.
but just to escape and to punish myself. And I will say this: I did listen back to a little bit of a couple episodes ago with Alex, because like I was looking at the YouTube clips and trying to find clips, and like when I said that, like, I didn't escape, I mean, I did escape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was an
Yeah.
escape.
Yeah.
So if that happens, if I get into a dark place, if things happen in my life and I say fuck it, and if I fall into some money and I have a bunch of money and I'm in that fuck it phase, what do I do? First thing I'm doing, obviously, is I'm calling my people, right? Like,
Hmm.
I'm calling you.
Right.
I'm
So I was
calling.
just gonna say, you sent me a text message the other day, not in the best place. Well, the other day, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Um, and you said something to me that I was like, oh, and it was just about where you might go away and work.
Ooh, no, let's get real. I'll say what I said.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. I'll
Okay,
let you
hold on. But
say
I
it.
wanted to hold on. I wanted to finish my
I'm
trigger.
sorry.
So
I'm
yeah, no,
sorry.
like I'm
Okay.
gonna call people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna go meet someone
Mm-hmm.
face to face.
Okay. Yep.
And then
You are proving a very valid point that I'll get to after
okay,
at the end of
no.
this.
So I'm gonna call people. I'm gonna text people. I'm gonna meet someone face to face, and I might literally have to like stay at their house for the night. I might have to give them my wallet, and then I might have to like get to a meeting. And literally saying this right now is giving me anxiety because that's
Yeah.
a really fucking awful, sick feeling to even think about that possibly happening. So that's a
Yeah.
good thing. That's a good
Yeah.
thing for sure. But so yeah, that's my initial trigger plan. So then what was your oh yeah, so that text. Um yeah, so I want to make sure I can say it. Yeah, I can say this. So long story short, um my background check was taking a long time for this new job.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't get into the details, but it was just like bullshit stuff.
Yeah.
Like no reason for it to take that long. And I was getting to a point where, the money's kind of getting low. What the fuck am I going to do if this
Mm-hmm.
job falls through? And I sent like three people a text. It was like you, Noah, Ken, I
Mm-hmm.
believe. Maybe Steven too, actually. And oh, should I read the text? No, that's too personal. But
Yeah.
but
No.
but but no, that what do you mean no? What?
No, I'm just
The
saying,
truth
like
is
you.
good. The truth is good. I don't care if I
Yeah,
sound like a pussy or an idiot.
no,
Like it
you're
is what it
right.
is.
I mean, we talked about this in the last episode. Don't be shameful. Just
Yeah, I'm not.
go for it.
So no, I'm not going to read it. But basically like in that moment, right? In that moment, I said a part of me wants to just fucking get in my car and go down to Texas and deal poker and just make
Mm-hmm.
money. And
Oh, my heart exploded.
but listen, I'm not saying that because I would eventually gamble.
No,
I'm
but you wouldn't go to
saying that
Texas.
I'm saying that because like I am I'm the way I feel about the casino industry, specifically dealing poker, is that it is a skill set that not everyone has. It's a skill set that I could get a job tomorrow doing a lot of I could be a traveling dealer, which I know there's pros and cons to that. I could go back down to Texas. Like I could go anywhere and deal poker and make great money. And it's a mindless job. I could still crush the podcast. And I am fairly confident that wouldn't lead to gambling. Now, obviously I'm not going to risk that, okay? I'm not going to risk that. But yes, in that dark moment where I thought that job was possibly going to fall through, the first place my brain went was to just get the fuck out. And once again, it's not to get the fuck out to like isolate. It's to get the fuck out because it's like, am I really not going to get this job because I had a fucking speeding ticket in 2022 for $100?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was just in the moment, I was just so fucking angry, and so but so
Right, like, but just like overcome with emotion. And
yeah,
so, like, and that is sort of, the point when I am like, do you have a trigger plan? Do you know what it is? Like, I think that should be a day one thing. You're going into recovery, come up with a trigger plan, know it, own it, and be ready to use it. Because, like the story that we're talking about here, not that it was you super close to going out and gambling, but life is messy, life gets in the way, life gets overwhelming. And so I think that, you know, you are I think that you already sort of know your trigger plan is reach out to my people. And the thing that I think is safe to say is a lot of the coping skills, a lot of the stuff we learn in recovery, we all apply to our everyday lives, which
mm,
is what makes us such better people in the long run. Like I always say, I'm grateful that my mess of a life got me into recovery because I'm a better person. Even if you took all the gambling away, I'm a better person now than the person I was before all of this.
sure,
And so, like, you're kind of proving my point here in that, like, everyone has a toolbox. They carry a toolbox. Do you know what your tools are? Do you know how to use them? Are you prepared to use them? So,
Yeah.
like, I know for me, my trigger plan is if I get even the slightest urge or if something were to creep in my mind, the first thing I'm doing is I'm calling my bank and saying that my account was hacked. Not my card, my account was hacked. I have no access to funds. Right now, all my finances are just my finances. So that's the first thing I'm doing. Even if I get this, like, the slightest bit, I can survive for a couple days while the bank figures that out. And by the time I get to that point, I think I would have pushed through it. On top of that, like you said, I'm calling my people. And, I've talked about here and on the Modern Meeting a couple of times about sort of re-going over who's in my support system, kind of prioritizing who's really there because they have a vested interest in me continuing to be the person I am today, and who's just there because they're like, oh, well, you're a good friend of mine, and you're doing so good now. Like, you could probably gamble and be fine. I mean, those people don't even need to be in my support system.
Yeah.
So I know
Well,
for
now wait,
me,
hold on, real quick, real quick.
yeah,
When you said that, I stopped myself from saying "fuck those people." Is it "fuck those people" or do we just feel bad for those people because they're fucking dumb?
right? They don't get it. There's
Right? So
not.
it's not "fuck them." They're just fucking stupid,
Mm-hmm.
for lack of a better word. They're ignorant.
Right, right.
Right.
But yeah, so for me, that trigger plan is just first and foremost get the finances away because
Yep.
because I know that there is a reality that I could reach out to. I mean, there's a lot of people I could reach out to, so this would be a little extreme, but I could reach out to people and just nobody's answering the phone. It could be 3 o'clock in the morning,
Mm.
and you know nobody's picking up. But there's and that's why I sit there and I go, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd be able to get a hold of my bank at 3 o'clock in the morning to be like, shut that shit down. But that is step one. Step two is reach out to everyone. And then that third and final step is that I keep in my notes on my phone a like the top 5 podcasts that resonate with me. Some of them are ours, some of them are Broke Girl Society, some of them are All In.
Mm.
Um, and beyond, and because if I can put a podcast on and start listening to it, whatever's going on in my brain, and not that I've ever had to directly relate it to gambling urges, but to anger, to things that are overwhelming emotions. If I put on a podcast, 5 minutes into it, whatever I was so like insanely mad about or upset about, it's not that bad. Like now my brain has time to sort of be like, okay, let's break this down to small pieces as opposed to trying to tackle something head on. And, it's one of those things that I did not know what my trigger plan was until I had this conversation with someone else. And I wish that I had started that on day one.
I can remember when I sent that text out to the four of you.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first person to I was just looking for someone to talk me off the ledge, basically,
Yeah.
right? I just needed to, I had been all these thoughts and this anxiety of like, am I really not going to get this job was swirling around, and it just it hit a breaking point, it hit a boiling point when basically I was supposed to start on the 16th, and then I ended up not starting until the 30th. Um, and so Noah talked me off the ledge, and then you sent an amazing text, and everyone else so that's all I needed. But honestly, that's what an amazing thing to have, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
There there
absolutely.
there are some people out there that wouldn't have the tools in their toolbox to be that vulnerable and say that to someone. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to me. No,
Shout out
but no,
Adam.
no, no. But seriously,
Wait, is that your first shout out to Adam? I
but
think
no,
it is.
that's one of the things that we talk about in these rooms. It's like the people that are afraid to open up, the people that just
Yeah.
sit with their fucking misery inside their brain without sharing it with someone, right? So
Yeah.
the fact that I felt this and I said, you know what, I gotta fucking tell someone how I feel, and then
Mm-hmm.
I had bang, 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 4 people just fucking jump to my aid, which is just amazing.
It's amazing. And I absolutely need to point this out that When I first came into recovery, someone gave me a business card, and it was a GA business card. It just had their phone number and name, first or last initial, and on the back of it, it said, "Your call helps me too." And I'm going through some normal life stuff, but you reaching out to me and sort of just being like, "Hey, like I just need someone to talk to or whatever." Everything in my life suddenly it was like it became nothing, but not like in a way where I was just like, oh, fuck that, fuck me, but in a way where I was just like, okay, we're all human. We're all living in a world where life is going to happen. You can't stop it. And so for you to reach out to me and for me to have the opportunity to actually be at my phone and be like, no, you know what? Fuck what I'm going through. I'm going to be there for Adam right now. Like, we've got this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like I was like, there's no way. And you said that you were, I think you and Noah were talking. And so I was like, okay, he's got someone.
Right.
And I just love that. In that, I learned
Yeah,
A,
because you were like way too nice too. You were very like you were way too like poetic and like.
no, but that is like, it was one of those moments where I'm going
You were
like,
like you're the. I'm not gonna say it, but just like yeah, like you were just you overdid it in
yeah,
the nicest way possible.
the next time I'm just gonna be like, you're a dick.
I just I deserve that. I deserve that. All right, we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So I got a question. We
Shoot.
know that we are very alike in a lot of ways, and one of the big things is we're both Keno slot people.
Hmm.
Why did we like Keno slots so much? I know we've talked about it before, so we can't just say like it's because like the bets, it's because the games last a long time. Like, what are
Hmm.
the other reasons why we specifically loved Keno slots?
That's a great question.
Right?
Yeah. Um,
Open
well, okay.
discussion. We can just like start yelling out answers. Like, what?
Yeah.
So go ahead. What?
I loved that the times I was at the casino were overnight, right? Like when people were sleeping. So understand that the times I'm there, I'm not talking about a packed casino, but I love that no one was near me.
Mm,
I used to hate when I thought people were watching, especially if I was winning. If I thought people were watching over my shoulder, or if people would talk to me. I'm not here to socialize.
right.
Like I was not a social gambler at all. I was like if I went with a group of people, I was like, all right, I'll meet up with you guys in like an hour,
Hmm.
which I never would end up meeting up with them. But I loved for keynote slots. It was always the casino 2, 3 in the morning, past last call. There was, just probably all of the addicts at that point
Yeah.
crawling around the casino. And I felt like no one was judging me, no one was watching me, no one was jinxing me.
But so why not a regular slot compared to a Keno slot for you?
Because they're so flashy. Like the big, like if you're winning or you're in a bonus, the sounds are going off, the lights are
Right.
flashing, and people. Me and Christina from Bro Girl talked about this when I was on her podcast. Like as a gambler, when you hear the lights and you see the lights and you hear the sounds and you turn around and it's a group of people laughing, clapping, all excited because they won $20, and
Mm,
you're like, why the fuck did I just stop what I was doing to turn
right.
around for that?
Yeah.
And so like it would be the same thing where like I would be in a bonus and I'd turn around and people would just be like behind me watching
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And then if you win, could even be the smallest amount, people are like trying to talk to you like, oh, good for you, all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, leave me alone. Or I know you've gotten this before. Cash it out and go home now.
Mm,
Don't put it back. And I'm just
yeah.
like, shut the fuck up. I'll do what I
Yeah.
want. Where
Right.
Keno slots, the screen's so small. Usually it's I'm there, other people aren't there, so I'm playing by myself, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I got more bullets. I'm gonna be here all night, baby. Like,
Yeah, mine is what I said at the beginning. It's just it's being able to it's not so much the time, but just being able to have that dream just continue as long as possible because it
mm-hmm.
just takes one spin, right?
Yep.
If you're betting 6, 7, 8 numbers like I was at the end, if you hit 8 out of 8 with $1, it's like what was it like 10 grand, 20 grand, whatever it was. So it's like If I have $400 and I'm only doing $1 spin, that's going to take a long time for me to go broke. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a big reason why I loved them. And they were
Ooh.
probably my number one. Go ahead.
No, no, you finish because I have another reason why I love them.
Okay. So, no, I was just going to say the reason I loved them was because of that. And also because I had a lot of wins. Not obviously more wins than losses, but like not to say that like if I had other wins, like if I early on and going to Mohegan like in the mid 2000s, like if I hit on Let It Ride or Caribbean Stud, I would have been chasing that forever, right? I just like I chased craps and Keno. I really do think the more that I've thought about this is that you don't play the games that you like to play. You play the games that you won on, and you're just chasing that feeling again.
Mm-hmm.
You're chasing that moment. Like
Yeah.
and if you think, I never really had a really great blackjack run. I've never had a big scratch ticket hit, but I fucking crushed Buffalo machines. I crushed Keno slots, and I've had some good craps rolls.
No, 100%. And, as we're talking, I'm just thinking about, I also liked that I was such a superstitious, like, oh, well, if I spin with my left hand, I win kind of person.
Yeah.
And I like that I could, in my head, I could see patterns.
Oh
And
yeah.
so like, I was never poker. I didn't do anything but slots. So on Keno, I would be like, oh my God, the 40s, the row of 40s are like they're hitting almost every single time.
Yeah.
And I would watch for patterns. It never helped me ever.
Ever, ever, because it's
Any
all random.
right. But I would be like, no,
No, I did the
okay.
same thing.
Yeah.
I would do like I called them the quadrants. I would do the
Yes,
quadrants like,
yes, yes.
towards the end, I would do 1, 2, 11, 12, 21, 22. And then sometimes I
Yep.
would add in 31, 32 if I was doing 8 out of 8. But then, like, God forbid, and this is so funny. It's something I've never brought up. If you're playing Keno, and obviously if you're us, I had like 10 different sets of numbers, right? Like I
Mhm.
had my family's birthdays, then I had my family's birthdays once Noah was born, then I just had the
Mhm.
original four, me, my 11,
Yeah.
13, 22, 28,
Oh
and
geez.
then and then I'd have like the quadrants or whatever. But like
Yeah.
you can't play everything, right? But
Yeah.
so like if I'm playing the quadrants and then the birthdays come up, oh my god, the end of the
Yes.
world. Like I've been
Yes.
chasing those 5 birthdays for how long,
Yeah.
and it just
Yeah.
came in. I'm playing the stupid quad. So then what did I do towards the end? This is like 2019. I found multi-card Keno,
Yeah.
4-card Keno. So
Yep.
now I got the quadrants on A, I got the birthdays on B, I got the other quadrant on C.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, I was never a superstitious guy, but once again, I don't want to make the big bet. I want to fucking make a bunch of little bets that are hedging all the bets, and that one perfect bet needs to come along for me to win. Otherwise, I'm
Yep.
just losing or breaking even. So, what
Yep.
are some games? What are some things that like didn't hook you like at all? Like obviously, like you're not sports betting, you're not playing poker, but like,
Mhm.
were there any other games that did you dabble in table games and you just never liked it? Scratch
So
tickets,
scratch tickets, that's where I started with my dad.
but you weren't hooked on them,
No, but I never won on them. I mean,
right?
maybe $50, and like that was I was a kid. Someone else gave me the ticket, whatever. But um, I did briefly. We went on a cruise, and they had something called like Fun 21, which was like blackjack without people being mad that you passed when you should have hit or whatever.
Mm,
And I was really good. I felt like on that cruise. And so I tried blackjack, but for me, like the first time I played it, everyone at the table hated me because I, I'm like, I get to play Fun 21. Like, what is this?
yeah,
And legitimately, like, some girl was like, can you just get the fuck off the table? And
yeah,
never went back.
yeah,
And that's, again, I was a very, like, I don't want to be talked to. I want to be left alone.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, I've thrown the dice in craps. I've never learned what is what or how to play it.
Yeah. Yeah, like
And
I could go into a casino and you could tell me like, "Hey, I'm going to give you 10 grand to play blackjack." And I would obviously do it like in my gambling, but like I would not enjoy it. Like Everybody loves blackjack, right? I didn't like it. I don't know why. Like I said, it's probably because I never had like any great wins, but something about it I didn't like. I didn't really like any of the carnival games for obvious reasons. They're just terrible. I loved craps. I loved Keno slots. I loved Buffalo machines, but like scratch tickets, like the only time I would scratch tickets is if like I knew I wasn't going to the casino for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But like I would have control. Like I had zero control with craps or Keno slots,
Mm-hmm.
but I would have control over scratch tickets. Like I could go in, buy a $20 ticket, and then that's it. And I could also like not buy a ticket. Like
Yeah.
I definitely like so I'm obviously a compulsive gambler, and I'm obviously you know I, I I would always find a way to scratch that itch, but there was only certain things that hooked me. It's I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back.